My sister emailed me a wedding gift registry with 7 high-end items, think Tesla, Rolex, and other luxury goods. I overlooked 2 of them. Then she texted, "You skipped 2 gifts. Don't bother coming." Mom chimed in. "She deserves better. It's her big moment." I responded, "Got it." The next day, I canceled the remaining orders, adjusted my financial contributions to the catering, and what I did next shifted everything. My sister's wedding wasn't a heartfelt event. It was a spectacle. Picture-branded hashtags, rented doves, and a videographer obsessed with slow-motion champagne shots. Ashley didn't just want a marriage. She wanted a viral moment. I was drinking coffee when her email landed. Subject, gift coordination final. No pleasantries, no hope you're well, just an attachment and a curt note. Confirm your selections. You're the eldest, you can handle it. No excuses. I opened the file. The list screamed extravagance. A Tesla Model Y, a Rolex Daytona, a Hermes clutch, designer accent chairs, a chandelier, a premium espresso machine, and a crystal bar set. All brand new. All full price. Some items had my name already assigned. Others were labeled open. I chuckled, not out of amusement, but because this was typical Ashley. She'd always treated me like her personal ATM. When she needed tuition, I paid. When she wanted a soul-searching trip to Bali, I funded her flights and resort. When Mom's mortgage fell 3 months behind, I covered it without a second thought. It wasn't about the cost. I earn well, live comfortably. No kids, no major responsibilities. It's not the money, it's the expectation, the entitlement, the absence of a simple thank you. Still, I picked 5 items, ordered them, paid in full. I even included a note with the gift receipt. Wishing you all the joy you imagined. Congrats, Ash, I thought that was the end. Then came her text, "You missed 2, don't show up." 2 minutes later, Mom added in the group chat, "She deserves better. It's her big day." I stared at my phone. The nerve wasn't shocking anymore, just draining. I typed a reply, erased it, then sent, "Got it." I opened my financial app and reviewed the wedding-related transactions. Over months, I'd done more than buy gifts. I'd co-signed vendor contracts, paid deposits, managed logistics because Ashley was overwhelmed with content creation. The espresso machine, charged to my card, catering, my deposit. They needed someone dependable, the florist. Booked under my email because I'm better at follow-ups. I scrolled through each payment and started canceling them. No shouting, no threats, just adjustments. She said don't come, so I wouldn't, but I wasn't leaving quietly. She wanted a show, she'd get one, just not the one she planned. It didn't begin with the wedding. It started 7 years ago with a phone call. I can still hear her words, "Don't tell Mom yet, I just need a fresh start." Ashley had flunked her first semester. Badly. She blamed the toxic campus, her roommates' jealousy, her professors' misunderstanding. Then she pitched Bali like it was a casual idea, a few months to recenter her spirit. Maybe try yoga. Maybe journal, flights, resort, some trendy eco-retreat she saw on social media, all charged to me. I sent her weekly funds just in case. She stretched the trip by 2 months. Unintentionally, she said. I stayed silent. When she returned, there was a welcome-back dinner. She grinned, posted photos, tagged me with best brother. I paid the tab. No one mentioned the loan. A year later, Mom's roof caved in after a storm. Dad had just walked out. Insurance rejected the claim. I drove over with a check tucked in my wallet, handed it to Mom before her panic could settle. She cried, called me her savior, then never spoke of it again. There's a pattern here, and I've enabled every step. When Dad left, I didn't break down. I crunched numbers. Mortgage, utilities, phone bills. I rerouted payments, consolidated debts, told myself I was being practical. That's my role. I fix things, quietly, without fuss. Ashley called me the reliable one. Mom called me her anchor. Neither asked how I was holding up. I was the steady one, the one with the solid job, the one who gets it. They mistook love for obligation, and I allowed it. Ashley would call from new cities, new internships, new dreams. 1 month it was digital marketing, the next marine biology, then a startup that fizzled in 6 weeks. I'd send money without question, telling myself it was easier than arguing. Then came the wedding. 2 months out, she texted, "I'm swamped. Can you handle some vendor calls? You're so good at sounding professional." I agreed. I didn't just manage them, I became the point person. Paid deposits, sent emails, streamlined schedules, all to be helpful. No talk of repayment. There never was. Then came the registry. A 7-item spreadsheet titled Gift Coordination. Tesla, Rolex, Hermes, designer chairs, espresso machine, crystal bar set, chandelier. My name was next to 5 items. Thank you, I bought them. Not because I wanted to, but because saying no felt foreign, like a language I'd never practiced. The next day, her text, "You skipped 2, don't come." I stared at it for ages. Then Mom's message in the group chat. She deserves better. It's her big day. I didn't reply right away. I sat on my bed in silence. Then typed, got it. Something inside me shifted, not a shatter, but a release like a held breath finally let go. I made coffee, poured 2 cups. Mike, my high school buddy, was over. He saw my expression before I spoke. You good? She sent me a bill for her wedding, I said. Like an actual invoice, a spreadsheet with my name and 7 luxury items. And you, he asked, bought 5. Mike stirred his coffee, paused, and said, if you were a bank, they'd at least say thanks. We didn't laugh. That night, I opened my laptop, pulled up the vendor folder. Catering, florist, Dacre, all unpaid beyond deposits, final balances due on the wedding day. I recalled the venue contract. Ashley had forwarded it with a breezy, can you check this? Too many legal terms. I was listed as secondary signer. They didn't just lean on me, they counted on me. And now they'd told me to stay away, assuming I'd still pay, still carry the load. But I wasn't coming. And neither was my compliance. I started emailing vendors. The wedding morning arrived quietly. No messages, no calls, just a stillness that hummed like the calm before a storm. I brewed coffee, sat on my balcony, watched the clouds drift. I hadn't shared my plan, not even with Mike. He'd just given me a look the night before and asked, you sure? I nodded. He nodded back. At 9 a.m., my calendar pinged. Ashley's wedding, 1:30 p.m. I smiled, opened my laptop, and got to work. First, La Belle Catering. I'd prepaid 6 weeks ago because Ashley was too busy. Subject. Payment authorization canceled. Body, effective immediately, suspend service. Prior payment revoked due to unauthorized use of my financial details. I CC'd the event planner. Then the florist. Same message, different proof. It took 15 minutes to unravel months of blind generosity. By 10 a.m., I was back on the balcony, cappuccino in hand, jazz playing softly. At 10:41, my phone buzzed. Ashley, what did you do? I didn't reply. At 11:03, Mom, there's an issue with the shrimp. The florist says she wasn't paid. At 11:06, Ashley, did you cancel things? Are you out of your mind? Do you know how this looks? I opened the group chat, the same one where they'd told me I skipped 2 gifts and to stay away. I replied, got it. Then sent screenshots of the cancellation receipts. Catering, florals, rentals, bartenders, one by one. It wasn't about destruction. It was about reclaiming what was mine. By 11:30 a.m., guests were arriving. I wasn't there, but I could picture it. Mike sent a photo, plastic folding chairs in a circle outside the venue. No music, no welcome cocktails. At 12:10, the wedding planner called. Hi, Em, I was told you're the financial contact for today's event. I stayed silent. She continued, the caterers won't unload unpaid balance. The florist left. Then softer, the bride's losing it. I asked, is the balance paid? She whispered, no. I said, then there's nothing to discuss, and hung up. At 12:47, my phone lit up. Ashley, you're making this harder than it needed to be. Me, you told me not to come. Ashley, not like this. Me, this is me not coming. By 1 p.m., things spiraled. Social media posts started. A cousin I hadn't seen in years shared a clip of Ashley yelling at a staffer. Caption, bride stressed as catering issues hit while grandma swelters. 50,000 views in 2 hours. At 1:26, Mike called. Dude, you're trending. I asked, how bad? He said, there's a handwritten sign at the entrance. Guests seated once balance cleared. They're serving gas station cupcakes. Someone brought their own beer. He tried not to laugh. I was still on the balcony, still sipping my cappuccino. At 1:35, a voicemail from Mom, you always need the spotlight. Couldn't let her have this one day, could you? I didn't listen to the rest. The truth was, I'd given her the day she wanted, without me. At 2 p.m., Ashley's final text, hope you're proud. And I was, not because it collapsed, but because I'd finally stepped out of her circus. She sent me a registry and a bill. I RSVP'd with silence, and a balanced ledger. The morning after, I woke without an alarm. No texts, no missed calls, just sunlight spilling across my floor like nothing had happened. But something had. I brewed real coffee, not the sugary, Instagram-worthy nonsense Ashley loved. Sat by the window, opened my email. There it was. Subject, yesterday, from Mr. Dunning, my old English teacher. I don't know what went down, but I've never seen a bride scream about unpaid shrimp while guests sat on plastic chairs. Sorry you dealt with that. Proud of you. I didn't even know he was invited. Another email arrived. From David, a cousin I hadn't spoken to in years. Dude, they swapped steak for sliders, plastic forks. Ashley yelled at the violinist. Did you really pull the plug? No emojis, just the question. I took a breath. Opened Instagram. Guests had posted curated photos, tightly cropped Lolit, avoiding wide shots of the chaos. One reel stood out, posted by the photographer's assistant, not meant for public eyes. Raw, messy, real. It showed the gift table, or what passed for one. A folding table, 2 boxes, one half opened. Caption: the gratitude corner, Ashley's voice in the background, "This is outrageous." Where's the rest? The crystal set, the chairs, the bag. Her new husband was on his phone, arguing quietly. A woman in a headset, likely the planner, kept saying this wasn't the deal. We had a deposit. Then stillness. No sound, no flourish, just reality unfolding. I closed the social media app. Moments later, my phone vibrated. Ashley's name lit up the screen. No message preview, just her name, heavy with expectation. I paused, then picked up. "You cornered me," she said, skipping any hello. I stood, walked to the balcony, and gazed at the calm city below. "Is that what this is?" I asked. "Embarrassment, not a wake-up call," she huffed. "You don't understand. It was our day, your only role was to back me up." I pressed my lips together. "No," I said. "Your role was to care about your brother, not bill him." Silence followed. Then she said, "I told you not to come, you didn't. But you didn't need to ruin everything." I didn't respond. She pressed on. "Now everyone's talking. Mom was in tears all night. The planner's threatening legal action. I can't even share the reel I paid $3,000 for because the venue looked like a high school dance gone wrong." "That's not on me," I said, steady and measured. "That's on your budget." She hung up. An hour later, a voicemail from Mom arrived. I played it on speaker. "You could have just dealt with it. It was one day. One day, and you made it about you. She's your sister. You were supposed to give her everything. She'd have done the same." That last line made me laugh. Ashley do the same? Ashley had never done anything for me. No birthday wishes, no visits when I was recovering from surgery, not even a coffee when I couldn't walk. Everything always flowed one way, from me to them. Now that I'd turned off the tap, they were stunned. I considered replying, reminding Mom how I'd paid off her car loan when she was jobless, how I'd covered Ashley's rent for 2 years, how I'd said yes so often I forgot what no sounded like. But I didn't. I archived the voicemail. Then my phone rang again. The caller ID stopped me cold. Dad, not Mom and Dad, just him. We'd barely spoken since the divorce. He'd moved to Arizona, remarried, taken up hiking. We talked maybe once a year. I answered. "Hey," he cleared his throat. "Got a minute?" "Sure." "I heard about yesterday," he said. "Your mom's been loud about it." I stayed quiet. "I'm not here to mediate," he added. "Just wanted to say it's about time someone drew a line." I blinked. "What?" "You've always carried them," he said. "And I let it happen. I shouldn't have, but I'm proud of you." My throat tightened. Silence lingered. "Thanks," I said finally. "That means a lot." We didn't talk much longer. Just enough. When I hung up, I opened the family group chat, the same one where Mom once sent cartoon avatars and Ashley shared links to $800 shoes like they were jokes. It was flooded now. "You caused a scene when we needed unity. Do you feel better? What kind of brother are you? We're family. We're supposed to support each other. Bring back the kindness you used to show." I scrolled past it all. No apologies. No ownership, just complaints. I went back to Ashley's original message. "You skipped 2, don't come." I held down on the chat, hit mute, then archived it. I wasn't ready to delete it. Some lessons need to stay in view. That night, a final email arrived from the catering company. A receipt. Contract terminated by primary contact. Refund processed. Balance outstanding. Please advise if further communication required. I stared at the words primary contact. That was the issue all along. They saw me as the go-to, the fixer, the safety net, the wallet. Not anymore. I closed my laptop, looked out the window. No drama, no chaos, just calm. 3 weeks later, an envelope arrived, sealed with glitter and a whiff of overpriced perfume, probably the same scent Ashley used on the wedding invites. I knew what it was before opening it. Inside, a thank you postcard for attending. Gold embossed, fancy font. A filtered photo of Ashley and her husband spinning on a dimly lit dance floor, edges softened to hide the plastic chairs, the missing flowers, the mess that followed. In cursive below, "Thank you for sharing our special day. We hope to see you again soon." At the bottom, a list of guests and family. My name was missing, just a blank space between 2 others like I'd been erased and forgotten. I stared, then laughed, a deep, freeing laugh that had been waiting to break loose. They'd wiped me out. Not out of malice, but reflex, as if I'd never existed, as if I hadn't paid for the food they couldn't serve, the chairs that never showed, the deposits, the favors, the quiet rescues. As if I hadn't held that family together for years. They traded my contributions for a blank spot. I set the card down, walked to the kitchen, brewed coffee, and sat at the counter. Opened my laptop. Typed 5 words into a search engine, flights to Lisbon one way. Clicked the first result, booked it. No second thoughts, window seat, no return date. 3 hours later, I was at the airport gate with just a backpack. My lease was up in a month. I didn't renew. Let them handle the rest. The plane took off as the sun dipped low. For the first time in years, I owed no one anything. Lisbon was warm, serene, welcoming. I checked into a simple hotel, not luxurious, just clean, with good Wi-Fi and coffee that tasted like care. On the third morning, I found a small cafe by the ocean. No crowds, no influencers snapping brunch pics, just me, my notebook, and quiet. I sat for hours, writing nothing, just observing. Then my phone buzzed. I let it sit for a minute before checking. The family group chat. Ashley's first message, she had to sell her bag, she thinks your actions ruined the day. They're saying you never cared. Then a photo, Ashley crying on a friend's couch. Caption, thankful for true friends, the irony. I closed the chat and blocked the number. They could rewrite the narrative however they wanted, cast me as the villain, the selfish one, the troublemaker, the ghost. Sometimes vanishing speaks louder than staying. I funded the wedding they couldn't complete. Then I left them with a balance, emotional, financial, and otherwise. They wanted gifts. I gave them a mirror. They wanted extravagance. I gave them reflection. They wanted a spectacle. I gave them the quiet that follows a curtain drop. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived, forwarded from my old address. Plain envelope, no sender. Inside, a printout of Ashley's wedding registry, the original list, 7 items. 2 unchecked. In my handwriting from when I'd briefly considered playing along, a note to myself, don't mistake duty for love. I folded it, tucked it back in the envelope, and wrote 1 word on the back, declined. Final scene. I'm at the cafe again, same table. Sunlight glints off my coffee cup. A girl at the next table points at me, whispering to her dad in Portuguese. He smiles, shrugs, I smile back, my phone vibrates. Ashley's number, no name, just digits. I let it ring and ring until it stops. Then I powered it off, set it down, and murmured, not today. Closing thoughts. She wanted a Rolex, I gave her a reminder. She wanted a car, I gave her accountability. She wanted a performance, I gave her a lesson. But for myself, I claimed peace. The scene fades, no soundtrack, no chaos. Just the sound of waves and a man sipping coffee, finally free from a circus he never belonged to. Now a question for you, was I wrong? I didn't yell or shame anyone, I just stopped playing their game. They sent me a list, not an invitation. They treated me like a bank, not a brother, so I answered, got it. And I meant it. Would you have done the same? Would you have shown up smiling, acting like everything was fine? Or would you have drawn a boundary? Be honest, I've been wondering, was this strength or just letting go? What would you have done?